What's up, y'all? I'm Quincy, design manager, principal designer, design director, and today is day 20 of this redesign challenge, 30-day redesign challenge. We have 10 days left. Could you fathom that it's already been 20 days? So today, well, actually before, let me catch you up. I was laid off from my company, Wall Street Journal, Dow Jones, back in November. Haven't been able to find work ever since. And I decided instead of, listen, I put in hundreds, if not thousands of applications, and I've received nothing, essentially nothing. So I decided to go in a different direction, and I want to redesign, spend 30 days redesigning someone's website, social media collateral, marketing collateral, social media cards, anything I can find, logos, anything I can find of the company. But the caveat is, it's a company who's rejected my application. So it's going to be funny, but enlightening. You're going to see a lot of bad design, a lot of some good design. But we're doing this today. And today we have Bigelow tea on deck. Bigelow tea. Now, we're not tackling their website, even though it does need some revamp. I want to do a little bit of packaging. Their tea packaging, essentially. So y'all ready? Because I'm ready. Let's get into it. Come on. All right, so here we go. We are on Bigelow Tea's website. Exciting. Bigelow Tea's website. And here it is. I mean, it's a website. It actually looks like it was created maybe a few years ago, essentially. It's just lacking some nuances, but we're not getting into the website. Maybe we'll do that one day. We're not getting into the website. I love their family. I mean, it's an older company, which is beautiful, brilliant, family-owned, beautiful, brilliant. So, but what I want to get into is the tea packaging. Tea packaging. And that's what we're going to get into today is the packaging. And specifically the green tea, because I love green tea. So we're going to get into their packaging. And it's going to be fun. Hopefully you follow along. And let's get into it. Come on. All right, so now we're in Illustrator. Make an artboard. I brought in their logo. I'm going to trace it out. Expand it. Delete all the white. Realizing that the registered mark didn't trace out very good. So I'm just going to recreate it. Again, this is my design. So get a circle going. Going to outline it. Make sure it lines up perfectly. Going to bring it in. Make sure it goes from edge to edge. Going to delete the previous one. And create the new one. So there it is. Now I have everything. Now there's some things that just didn't line up. So I'm just going to line up the W with the Bigelow T, essentially. Anything else that didn't line up, like this I, just make it straight across, put a guide in. So now we have their logo. So much easier if there was just a depository of logos everywhere as SVG files. That would be tremendous. Absolutely tremendous. So now I have their logo. I'm going to bring in their packaging. Green tea, pomegranate, and green tea with lemon as my two reference images. And I'm realizing now that I want to create a mock-up, an actual mock-up of their packaging so you can see it in its glorious light. So create another frame. I like the tea kettle in their logo. I think that is tremendous. Whoever designed it is brilliant and great. So I want to take that tea kettle out. I want to use it in the background for this layout, essentially. So making the entire frame green. That tea kettle, I'm going to make it transparent so you kind of see it in the background. Bring that logo down. First, I put it just in the center on the top. Gonna make it a little smaller, but I think bottom right is where it should go. That is the placement. That should be the placement of it. So it just gives breathing room for everything else that we're going to create. So I'm going to get green tea. They have a very funky font, And I'm going to just continue in that vein. I want a font that speaks, that looks like green tea, essentially, that has just a lot of character in it. And I'm just going through fonts, seeing what I like, what I don't like. I'm essentially going to land on this typeface, which is this one right here. It's tremendous. It's got a lot of character, green tea-esque, Chinese, China, Japan, Asian-esque, essentially. Forgive me for if I messed up, but I love this typeface. Just reminds me of just green tea, essentially. So now with lemon, I want a serif font to go with it. But as I'm just going through these fonts, do I want serif or sans serif? And I decided sans serif. We're going to be here. But that font, the actual color is yellow because it is lemon. Lemon is yellow. I mean, if it was lime would be green, like a bright green. But that lemon is yellow. I'm going to put in the other things within this packaging. And I was thinking about using the green tea Chinese glyph or handwriting, because in the background of the actual Bigelow packaging, there is, it looks like a glyph in there, but it might look like a house. But deciding if I want to use it or not, and I'm going to decide against it. Just continue down the road. I'm just filling in this artboard, this frame, with the content that's on the right, and just understanding the spacing, see where I want things. Do I want Bigelow tea in the center? Yes. Now, figuring out where it has other characteristics in it. Speaking about the 20 individual packages that are within this container, essentially within this box. So I'm going to align that bottom right. I took out the logo. I want the logo to be front and center, right on top of green tea, much like what they have it now, but without some of that copy. Because I think there's a lot of copy going on here, a lot of text going on here, and we could use the space better. Much better. Putting in their messaging, a gentle blend, essentially going to make that a different color, a darker yellow, because I just want it just to blend in a little bit more into the background and not stand out as the bright yellow with lemon. And that 20 means that 20 individual tea bags. I want that to be the same color as that sub copy under with lemon. Just gonna line it up, make sure it lines from cap height to the bottom, essentially, with both copies, both sentences in this copy. So I like it. I think it's turning out to be exactly what's in my head. And we're only going to create one iteration of this. We could go down another route and create a few different iterations, but we're going to create green tea with lemon and with pomegranate. So putting in some more messaging in here. Family-owned business, tremendous. And it's been around for a very long time. As a family-owned business, that's absolutely amazing and wonderful. And I was thinking they have this along both sides of their logo, America's choice, America's brand. Seeing if I really want to include that here. And the answer is no. I'm deciding against it. But as far as the ingredients, all natural, healthy antioxidants, I want that to be right underneath green tea, essentially, or maybe here, just deciding where I want it. But I want that middle portion to really just stand out, and they're not to be clouded with a lot of different copy in there, essentially. So I like it. I'm going to duplicate it. Now I want to create the top of the packaging, essentially, and I want to use the tea bag top, the little thing you hold on to as you drop your tea bag in and out of your tea. I want to use that. I think that is a really unique thing. And if we could put that on top of the packaging, someone's looking, at the top, in the grocery aisle, looking at it, they see the top, they see that tea bag, essential, I don't even know what you call it, holder. Bigelow, tea proudly. So I'm just gonna create my own shape out of this. So it's a vector. Well, it's a shape really. And I could just do anything with. So yellow. Why yellow? Because it's lemon. It's lemon. That's why. So any flavor it would be that color. If it were pomegranate, it would be a reddish color. But now it's lemon, so we're making this lemon. I was thinking about having this shape be in the middle, and really it would just wrap around. Those yellow would wrap around the packaging essentially. But I'm not feeling it much. I think we could be a little bit more unique and do something different with the packaging. The yellow bar would be cool, but we've all seen that somewhere. But why not create that string that is on that tea packaging, a little tea dropper? So now that string would go all the way around the package, from the side to the bottom and to the other side also. I think that's pretty unique, if we do something like that. Now they have a lot of copy on the top of their packaging. I'm not sure what it says. I tried to research to see what it says, but couldn't find what it said at all. So here we are. So I just grabbed some type of copy, whatever I could find. It's definitely not the right one at all. So I'm gonna fiddle with the copy, try to get it in here clearly, because there is a lot of it. But do we need all of that? Do we need each and every piece of that copy? The answer is no. But there's a signature on top that I'm trying to find as I'm looking around their website, looking on their looking Google Images, see if I find that signature anywhere. Looking at their packaging again. It's lots of research, man, just to do this one packaging. So I realized that there's a young lady that's now over the brand. Maybe I could find her signature. And that's her right there. But I cannot find it at all. So I'm gonna move things around, put it bottom left, maybe disjoint the copy from one to the next. And this is her name. Cindy. I love how you spell your name, Cindy. Great job, Cindy Bigelow. But so we're gonna put this copy here with her signature there. And just gonna adjust the copy, make it 10 points. It's still readable. 10 points is still readable. Going to adjust my string and get Cindy in there. I think it looks great. I think it looks great. It's different from the packaging that they have now. Packaging they have now, it's a lot going on, a lot of different colors going on. So just reducing the number of colors. Now we're gonna make another packaging for pomegranate. Of course, pomegranate is red, so I'm gonna make it not as dark of a red as it should be, just a light red, essentially. Almost pink-esque, but not pink at all. So it's red-esque, redesque. That's the word we created, redesque. So it just represents pomegranate. So any other flavors that they have can be represented with a color. So we don't have to use a lot of bars, essentially, or rectangles to depict that. Let's just use what we can, thoroughly use. And they would follow the same pattern from one packaging to the next, essentially. Just putting the copy in there for this pomegranate to make sure it's right. Just a blend with a lovely brew. I think that's what it said. delicate green tea with added touch. So that's what we're putting in there. Gonna work out this red color again. I still want it to stand out. So when someone just glances at the packaging, they know what they're looking at. When they're looking at the top of the packaging, they know what they're looking at. They know the flavor because it's red now. So it all works together lovely. So now I want to actually create the packaging, editing that, the ounces, the net weight and the ounces. So this is where I put in America's Choice, America's Classic, sorry, not Choice, America's Classic, which represents their brand. Maybe it is a motto that they live by. So right on top, perfect, absolutely great. So now I'm going to create their packaging. I'm in Photoshop at this present moment. I have a box that I'm literally going to cut out, and it's a box to their exact dimensions of their packaging, which is, well, the packaging that I'm creating. Just cutting it out. Right now there's watermarks all over it. We're not worried about the watermarks because Illustrator does a great job with mocking things up. So now I have the packaging in here. Let me bring this in here. And I'm realizing now I need to create margins. Now, I'm going to work this out, just move everything around. But as I go through this, I'm realizing that the bottom is too close. And usually when I'm creating packaging, usually I have a spec, I have, sheets, or I have guides, essentially would mark out where the margins would be, where the actual image safe area can go. So right now I don't have that. So we're going to do the best we can. All right. So now I'm going to actually expand my image so that it has breathing room, margins essentially. Going to expand my canvas. Just expand that green area. I'm going to do it for the pomegranate also. Make sure it's the same size. Make sure it just lines up perfectly where it needs to be. Realizing that the string needs to go all the way to the end. I am going to delete this one instance. Now I have two packagings, one on the top, one on the bottom, grouping everything together. Gonna bring it to the front. And then I'm gonna create a mock-up in here. I'm gonna adjust the size of it. Make sure the top image is going to wrap around that packaging, wrap around the edges too. Something that we're gonna have to do later is just edit those edges. But you get a sense on what it should look like and what it's going to look like. Take some time just to really get it to where it needs to be, matching from edge to edge, essentially. Now I'm going to get my pomegranate, bring it to the front, align those. Creating the mock-up takes a second. There you go. Now I created that mock-up. Going to adjust it to where it needs to be. And what you're not going to see is me taking it into Photoshop, because I want to create just a little bit of shadows, essentially for it. So it looks a little bit more realistic. So I like how it came out, the packaging essentially, even though there's no shadows, some things that need to be cleaned up, but essentially exactly what I was looking for, especially creating just new packaging for them. I think it's sleek, it's modern, and let me show it to you guys.